Hello, 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 my patrons on patreon.com/drawingthecircle, and everybody else on the internet when you guys see this eventually. Blessed Samhain, November 7th, 2022. We're going to do a little something, a little practice rather than necessarily a spell to work with the ancestors. We'll get into it, but certainly very, very glad to be doing this on Patreon. And advanced content for my humans, my heroes, my angels, my witches, my immortals, my gods, goddesses, soon-to-be seekers and mystics on there as well. A lot going on, but wanted to take some time to do this. So thank you, my patrons, and if anybody else is interested in joining us over here on Patreon, well, the URL address is over my head, but you can check the description box. Cool. Come Patreon on Patreon. Because let's talk Samhain, S-A-M-H-A-I-N. It ain't Samhain, it's Samhain, it's Celtic, it's a long story is what it is. One of the 8 Sabbaths of the Pagan Wheel of the Year, and we're going to get into it. But let me go through quickly. You, if you're on the Mark Angelo Lyons, Mel for short, private Facebook group, you have access to this unlisted Google Doc link, and if you're on Patreon, of course, you have access to that as well. So we're just going to go breeze through it so that no one is surprised by anything that we come across here. And certainly, if you're watching this on YouTube or elsewhere, you have a little heads up. So we're going to do our opening prayer and statement of purpose, which we do every single time when I do this stuff. A little prayer, a little meditation, get us all in the groove. We're going to talk a little bit about Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian problem-solving technique that has really re-entered my life like a comet, like a meteor. Changed a lot of things for the better, making things right. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about blue solar water, how to make blue solar water, essentially blue glass, water, sunlight, or incandescent light bulb. We'll talk about it. And of course, we're going to talk about Samhain, the 8th Sabbath of the Pagan Wheel of the Year, correlating to the 8th chakra hovering over the head. We will get there. Yeah, so we'll have a little lecture time, talk a little bit about, Samhain, 15 degrees, Scorpio, all of that stuff, the month and a half to 3 month season of death. Sounds like fun. We'll talk a little bit about the tools that we're going to be using here. Really simple. A tea light candle. As usual, well, here's the holder. Here's the candle. I've got a pentacle here on. You may have noticed I'm doing this from the living room, right? Instead of in the studio, which is my dining room. I have a good old-fashioned pentacle tile here ready to go. I've got frankincense oil in a little vial around my neck to anoint that with. So this is a very simple point and shoot kind of practice. I don't know that I would call it a spell. It is definitely a spiritual practice. We will talk about that when we get there. Let's see what other tools we got here. Yeah, no, that's it. Candle anointed for ancestors with frankincense. Again, you use whatever you want. Water, blue glass, with a non-metallic cork. We'll talk about that at some point. And to leave it in the sunlight for an hour to 15 minutes, 15 minutes to an hour to solarize it. There's so much information on the internet about Ho'oponopono and blue solar water and all this stuff that honestly you could do a much deeper dive than me explaining it all here right now. But if you're on Patreon, we've been talking about this for a while. Did I make that go away? I hope I did. I don't remember. Why? Because the 8th chakra. We'll get there. Then we're going to do are working a spell for sacred space, not necessarily casting circle, although that is done in the opening prayer, pretty much. Spell for sacred space, as well as a classic black spirits in white, red spirits in gray, which I was supposed to do in another one and forgot to, but now it's right in front of me, so I won't forget it this time. We will make a call to the ancestors, and we're going to talk about what ancestors are. We have 2 different categories of that. We'll get there. And then we're going to chant the 4 Ho'oponopono graces. Chant silently or aloud in any order that you want. Drink or use the blue solar water. And the 4 graces of Ho'oponopono, that's spelled H-O'-O-P-O-N-O-P-O-N-O. The 4 phrases, the 4 graces, the prayer, the mantra, the chant, whatever you want to call it. We're going to add to it a little bit because we're dealing with our ancestors, and you'll see why. I am sorry, my ancestors. Please forgive me, my ancestors. Thank you, my ancestors. I love you, my ancestors. And clear, clean, erase that ancestral patterning passed down since the very first incarnation on planet Earth to our cell tissues in all of our cells. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But considering that it's Samhain, and all that, and what's going on planet Earth, all the racial animus going on, and gender animus going on, I figured, well, this is something that the ancestors might be interested in helping us clean up. So, a very, very simple act of magic, healing, grace, what have you, but let's unpack this. So, let's do our opening prayer, just to get us all settled, and I'm on the couch, I've got my capes. I've got my very first blue witch cape and blue velvet. I've got the elder cloak from Lady Iron Fox. It got passed to me when she crossed. So my comfy pillows, my cat themed pillows. I think I'm ready to go. The Archangel Lyons, Markangelo Lyons. So get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in for a couple of minutes. I'll do my best to keep to the checklist here and see how we all end up. So please, take a moment. Close your eyes. Tune in. And let's do that lovely little bit of self-care. That is just taking a moment, taking a minute or two to tune into the physical body. The moon is in Taurus at the time of this recording. So that's really easy, right? It's just like, oh right, I'm still in a body. Give that a moment to relax. Relaxation is a good indicator of vibrational alignment, chakra alignment. You don't have to be spinning at 10 million cycles per second, right? To have high vibe, it can be very relaxed, even still. And just scan your body, giving permission to the different muscle groups, any place where you hold tension, any place you have chronic pain, and just give it a little extra attention, because some of those patterns are ancestral. The stuff in my lower back, my mom's got it in the same place, her mother, my grandmother had it in the same place. So, we incarnate into a lot of pre-written stuff, and if I have to close that window, I will. Well, people would be calmed down by now, but no, it's okay. And now just focus on the breath. Let the mind relax by focusing on the breath. Giving it something very simple to do. Just listen to your own breath. You can influence it a little bit if you like, going a little bit deeper. Playing with the different inhales and exhales through the mouth, through the nose, exhaling as you choose to find a good combo for you of speed, depth, and pattern. Because no one else can consciously focus on your own breath but you. And it is an immense power, but it just doesn't look like it at first. The breath of prana, of spirit, of life, of mana, of reiki, of chi, the life force itself that unites all souls. The immortal life force, yeah. The E that equals MC squared. Your ancestors are in there, as are your descendants yet to come. That infinite potential. Let it rest within your body as you just breathe. So we're going to get up into that 8th chakra. And it's from this place I offer this prayer. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is. Our collective pantheons of the divine, guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity. Please surround each and every one of us in a force field of light containing and protecting our energy fields, so that we may walk between the worlds, that we may commune with our ancestors, both genetic and archetypal. Commune. be with, hang with, share with vibration, energy, love, wisdom, power. And particularly love. For it is from them we come, and to them we return. And how many of those ancient ancestors have reincarnated over and over and over again, and how many of those ancient ancestors are us coming back in this life trying to fix what we did previously? Who knows? But nonetheless, that's why we are here. Great ancestors, surround us all in a force field of light with your love, your wisdom, your power, your guidance, your grace, your protection, your support. That we may heal what we can heal and feel what we can feel and shift timelines, not just for our own genetic downline and upline throughout time, but to anchor the very best and the very blessed of who we are into the energy field of planet Earth, the divine higher self and the immortal soul with a heroic personality and a human body, bringing that all in together into alignment from the 8th chakra all the way down to the root chakra. Anchoring paradise planet Earth, as I like to call it, but heaven on earth, a healthier world, more gold than lead, healthier rather than iller, sicker, toxicer. Into my pantheons of the divine as ever use me. I mean, I've got an outline, but you take us where you want us to go. I will do my best. Use me, all overtones, all dimensions, all lifetimes, all timelines, to make this the best thing I've ever done, but not the best thing I will ever do. For permanent paradise planet Earth, our ancestors, and the unfolding of the divine plan, which is better than anything we can imagine or conceive. Thank you, beloved pantheons of the divine. Thank you. So motivating. So it is. Lovely. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Because let's talk Samhain. S-A-M-H-A-I-N-E-I-E-I-O. The final harvest, the 8th Sabbath, the 8th chakra, the home of the archetypes. Hovering up here, the home of your ancestors. The beginning of the higher self, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Your crown chakra, you can communicate with your higher self and sit in the crown chakra for a while, you will. It's the best rite of confession you'll ever have, right? Because they already know. But once we start getting into 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th chakras and above, things start getting a little more intense, a little more formless. We still have distinctions. We still appear to be individual. But the unity is stronger. That's where you get into angels and archangels and kings and queens of heaven, ascended masters and, gods. And it all goes back to the divine singularity, the pregnant void, the mother of all source, right? The unity. The other side of the source wall, the other side of the 12th overtone of the 12th dimension. Just, there's no place like home. That unity. So yeah, this is an incredibly powerful chakra. You don't read about it much. Most systems stop at 7 at the crown chakra. Thanks to Carolyn Mace, Anatomy of the Spirit, I was introduced to the power of the 8th chakra, and what a power it is. It is mystical power, right? Spiritual power is in your crown chakra. That's the 1,000-petaled lotus. The 8th chakra is essentially the front door, if you like, to the Akashic Records, although the Akashic Records are also encoded in your DNA, so figure that out. Talk about holographic, because you carry the codes of your ancestors, biological, and sometimes otherwise. So, yeah, the final harvest, the death before rebirth, right? From Mabon to Samhain, that month and a half is the dying. Still going on outside, right? Having a little bit of a late summer here on Long Island at the time of this recording. Not all the trees. My lemon tree is still outside. I've got to bring that in a week or so before we get the frosts, right? But we are now in the season of the dead. In farming communities, you call it letting the field lay fallow, letting it rest. You don't plan anything for it for a season so that it can rejuvenate. Right, crop rotation and all of that, and so we are supposed to be chilling out, right? Samhain, the last harvest, the final harvest. You get the last of them pumpkins in, right? the hard gourds, right? Everything else is called food for the dead, so I don't really eat anything from my garden, even if it's out there after today, really Samhain. I'll let the animals eat it. Let it go back into the earth. Let it feed. I just got some tomatoes out there. It's not that bad. Itty bitty teeny tinies. So yeah, you sort of get the agricultural basis of this, and in a month and a half we will be at winter solstice, right? Yule, the first day of winter, and in 3 months we will be at Imbolc, Candlemas, if you want to call it that, in February. So, you know, here's an opportunity for us to look back at the seeds you planted at Yule. Do you remember what you cast for at Yule? I do. I have that shit written down. Of course I do. Of course I know what I cast for, and I've achieved a lot of it. But looking back, I achieved some other stuff I didn't realize would be part of it. A fierce sense of independence. I've learned so much about myself. 8th chakra is great. It is the satellite. It's the satellite. It's the GPS point of view. Look down and see it holographically, perhaps, right? Not just third eye vision, but 8th chakra, call it if you like, revelation. To see what was there all along. And that you can't fuck up the divine, plan. Even our fuck-ups are part of the divine plan. It's not much of a hero's journey if he nails it every time. It gets boring. Like, yeah, well, you defeated another villain. That's why Superman, they kept giving him weird weaknesses, like pink kryptonite, which I think made him gay. I don't remember. Kal-El. Oh, hopefully he's versatile. I am. No, not like that, though. Joking. No, I'm not. So, you know, of course, we're going to make mistakes. It makes for a better journey. It makes for better character development, right? It's like going to the gym and lifting everything effortlessly isn't necessarily going to build the muscle, right? No, I've been lifting 5-pound weights for 50 years and I'm not seeing much change. Yeah, duh. 15 degrees Scorpio, fixed water, ruled by Pluto, hence the death thing. The Grim Reaper, death rides a pale horse. The pale horse's name is Binky. There's the death of rats. It's all Discworld stuff. Queen of Cups would be the tarot card for Scorpio fixed water. It is the time for the descent into the underworld. Persephone's down there already. You know, she went down at Maven. She's just like making sure all the rooms are ready, you know, for her friends like me and the witches to come visit while we sleep or we're doing shadow work. Because it's shadow work season. Aren't you glad you've been doing a little bit, all of it, all year long? I am. You work them waning moons and dark moons. So yeah, we are in the shadow season. Holiday in the underworld, ladies and gentlemen. Get your River Styx speed pass because it saves money going back and forth every day. Just like the Fire Island fairies. And the graces. In my book, Words of Grace, all the chakras have different graces connected to them. The graces we will be incorporating at some point. The grace of faith, the grace of prayer, and the saving grace, which I will explain when we get there. Well, that's it. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to start with, very, very simply, unscrewing this little blue glass vial, Ho'oponopono frankincense oil, with just a little itty bitty tiny little itty bitty drop on that. Well, it was more than I wanted to use, but it's fine. Got a whole bottle of it upstairs. Where's the thing? This is really hard to do without a mirror. Please put it in the right way so it doesn't spill down my chest. I love when the guides are helpful. And we'll light that in a moment. It's ready to rock and roll. I got my blue solar water. I don't know if I should put this here. Can you see me over it? Yeah, you can. Oh, good. This worked out better than I thought. Nothing like decent lighting and good production value. If you can swing it. Except I can't see my checklist, but I'll do it. All right. So this is it. Again, for making blue solar water, all you need are blue glass, a non-metallic cork. I use wine bottles. I forget the name of this winery. It's Barefoot, I think it might be, with a cork, a regular, cork, to put it in there under direct sunlight or an incandescent light bulb, which is like a regular light bulb, not an LED, for 15 minutes. And what it does is it cleans the patterns, the Read Zero Limits. Find the audiobook Zero Limits by Joe Vitale. Ho'oponopono and all of that stuff. I've been drinking blue solar water for over a decade now. Well, 2009, even before that, I took the workshop with Dr. Lyons, so it's been a part of my daily life for years and years and years. But I thought, particularly for the 15 degrees of Scorpio, transformative water might be a good thing. Is it a potion? Yeah, I guess. But, you know, if you get into the Messages of Water by Dr. Emoto, and add that to it, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can do. And I'm a Pisces moon, so I always gravitate towards the more liquidity of magic. Oh, really important. The ancestors we will be connecting to, you have two different categories, as I mentioned briefly. One is the genetic. That's obvious, right? But you don't incarnate. It's the same genetic ancestry every single lifetime, I would think. Right? No, we're just like the Mayfair witches. No, I'm coming back as a Mayfair witch. Little Anne Rice, little side of Anne Rice for you there. Right? No, you're going to go all over the place. You're going to take different roles. You're going to get more experience. But then we also have what I call the archetypal ancestors. For example, I am a witch, so every witch that has ever been is my ancestor. From Gerald Gardner, and, you know, even those that maybe didn't consider themselves witches, like Uncle Al, Aleister Crowley. Good omens for you there. Certainly, I consider Scott Cunningham to be an ancestor, although technically he was alive while I was alive. The original meaning of ancestor is a family member who died before you were born. Apparently that's changed, but that's okay, because I got witches on both sides of my family too. So there are some that, of course, will be genetic, as well as archetypal. I am a writer, right? So Shakespeare, right? I'm a dancer, so I don't know. Martha Graham is my ancestor. So it's just another way of classifying unity so that you can reach out and touch someone spiritually. The eighth chakra, touch me. I'm okay with it. So, let's do this. I'm going to do 2 spells for Sacred Space, the usual one I do here, and then black spirits in white, red spirits in gray. So let me explain that one. It is Gardnerian, if the study proves to be accurate. There's always somebody else be like, no, that started 10 billion years before that, whatever. Black spirits in white, red spirits in gray, come ye, that may, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. Now, it's not genetic. It's not racial. Because who's the gray? I guess that's old people? No. Element of earth, black spirits, the spirits of earth. Black spirits in white, air. Red spirit, fire, and blue, and black spirits in white, red spirits in gray is water. So it is the elemental forces of earth, air, fire, and water, calling that in, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. And then we're going to get up into the 8th chakra with some prayer. So I guess this is it. Please take a moment. Light your candle if you want to, just as a focal point. Nothing like a little light a candle for the ancestors. I don't even think you can see that in this light. But that's okay. You know it's there. Why? Because you like me. M-O-O-S-E. Breathe. I don't know about you, but my ancestors like a little lightheartedness. And just breathe. As I call upon our collective pantheons of the divine, that in this time and in this place, we now do conjure sacred space, water and earth, air and fire, combine to transform and inspire, align us with divine desire. Our highest work we now require. Elements guide so that we may be on our paths and on them stay. We ask thee now, show us the way of what the ancestors desire this day. O Lady High, O Consort Bright, illumine this working with your light. black spirits in white, red spirits in gray. Come ye, come ye, come ye that may, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. Black spirits in white, red spirits in gray. Come ye, come ye, come ye that may, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. Black spirits in white, red spirits in gray. Come ye, come ye, come ye that may, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. Black spirits in white, red spirits in gray. Come ye, come ye, come ye that may, around and around, throughout and about, the good come in, the bad keep out. So mote it be. So it is. Breathe. Close your eyes if you like. Ignore the muggle noises outside, because we're going up into that 8th chakra. And draw your attention to the very, very top of your head, in the very, very center. Like, you can even like poke a finger there just to find the center of the crown chakra. And just breathe. And imagine with your inhale that you're breathing up right to that center point in the center of the top of your head. Where there is a jewel in the center of the 1,000-petaled lotus. A jewel of compassion. The Om Mani Padme Hum. The jewel in the lotus. That we now allow, with our focus and attention there, like watering this lotus, the petals gently begin to move and unfold. Like panels, like panels on a satellite. Seriously, like a satellite is just opening up all of those channels, all of those spaces to receive. And we call upon our own ancestors, genetic and archetypal, to lift us up now. To give us that hand up. Even our own higher selves lift us from the crown into the 8th chakra, the upper room, the soul star center, called so many different things. As I offer these prayers of the 8th chakra, dearest God, Goddess, all that is, please flood us with the grace of faith. May this grace open us to the guidance necessary to fulfill our true purposes this season. May it keep us open and present so we may serve as a blessing upon this world. So mote it be. Amen. The grace of prayer. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, please grant us the grace of prayer. May this grace open us as vessels of blessings for ourselves and all of life. Let this grace grow so strong in us that it becomes a living prayer. Spoken or silently, may we channel this grace and all graces as needed, that all may be healed, loved, and blessed. Thank you. So mote it be. So it is. And lastly, the saving grace. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, please show us the saving grace available to us. Whether it is one we have already known or a complete mystery, let it flow through us now, so we may be a channel of it in moments of need, our own or for others. If there is one grace that saves me more than all the others right now, please show us, that we may bring it through ourselves and into this world. Let this saving grace become so natural to us that it flows without us needing to ask. May it become our default, our go-to, and in time, our automatic response. Thank you, beloved pantheons of the divine God, Goddess, all that is. Thank you, our ancestors. So mote it be. And so it is. I feel better? Nothing like transcendence to transcend shit. You look down at the planet now and you go, oh dear. Dear. What were they thinking? What was I thinking? What were we thinking? Okay, call to the ancestors. Here we go. Here we go. Give me the words. Divinity. As I call to our collective ancestors, genetic and archetypal from the beginning of time, in this moment, please be with us in this grace of Ho'oponopono to make things right, to go back to the beginning of time, because all time is now. All time is now, and it's all part of the Tao of now and Pooh. So please, may this act of Ho'oponopono cleanse, purify, transmute, transform, erase, delete all the patterns, the data, the wounds, the abuse, neglect, codependence, and ego wounds of loss for me and my ancestors from the beginning of time to this present moment, in this lifetime and in all others. That it may be replaced by inspiration, by grace, and that we may heal within ourselves all of life. Releasing those patterns which no longer serve but served. Fight or flight was important when we were hunting in the woods and the forests and the jungles and we heard a twig snap. Fight or flight, yeah. But we don't need to be feeling that just because we got a bill that we may not have the money for right at this second, right? And the biochemical, emotional part of it, that we are carrying shadow from stuff that happened so long ago as automatic reflexes. The foundations of the shadow of hubris, the deadly sin of the root chakra. We're better than they are. Hubris, toxic pride, second chakra, greed, more, endless bit. Solar plexus, entitlement. I'm better than you because I say so. And I deserve whatever I want. Ugh. Wrath. Oh, not like we haven't burned some bridges, familiar or otherwise, with good old deadly sin of wrath of the heart chakra. Gluttony. More. Just chewing on it and getting no nutrition out of it whatsoever. Envy, the green-eyed monster, passed down from generation to generation to generation, which probably had a lot to do with racism and misogyny and all that jealousy going on in there, that envy. The sloth, the third eye. Well, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it the next life. I don't want to forgive. It's too much work. So that we may move outside of that entire system into the 8th chakra, where the graces are of faith. The graces are the saving graces. They are the grace of prayer. They are inherent to who we are as higher selves, souls, heroic personalities in human journeys that are here because of the foundations laid by our ancestors, both archetypal and genetic. Thank you. And may this act of Ho'oponopono shift this timeline that we find ourselves in, this world, to more golden timelines, more peace, more joy, more love, more wealth, more prosperity, more all the good stuff, more unity rather than separation, more truth than illusion. Releasing it from our own cell tissues bit by bit by bit by bit, maybe a little bit every other day, with a tea light, talking to the ancestors for a month and a half, 3 months, every day, the rest of our lives, whatever we are guided to do. But take us by the hand. And may this act of making things right, Ho'oponopono, be a blessing upon all of the world. Anchoring paradise, planet Earth, heaven on earth, happy hunting grounds, Asgard revisited, Themyscira now, whatever our heart's desires in terms of a more peaceful, loving, unified experience on planet Earth. May it begin with us. So here we go. My hands on the bottle, not that it's necessary. The 4 ancestral Ho'oponopono graces. Just take nice deep breaths in between each one. And focus the prayer, not we're saying it to the ancestors, but say it to the breath, which unifies all of us, past, present, and future. There's only one breath. Take a few practice breaths. Here we go. I am sorry, my ancestors. Please forgive me, my ancestors. Thank you, my ancestors. I love you, my ancestors. I am sorry, my ancestors. Please forgive me, my ancestors. Thank you, my ancestors. I love you, my ancestors. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Let's extend this a little. I am sorry, my ancestors, my higher selves, for any wounds of abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss that I or my ancestors have experienced or caused from the beginning of time to this present moment. I am sorry. On behalf of all of us, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Wherever the illusion of separation has manifested in any timeline or any lifetime of my own or my ancestors, archetypal or genetic, I am sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. I love you. For any war, any rape, any crime, any violence, any theft, any misogyny, any racism, any otherism, any torture, psychological, physical, emotional, or spiritual, done in any lifetime by me or my ancestors from the beginning of time to this present moment. I am truly sorry. We didn't know any better. Please forgive us, higher selves and ancestors, because you know we know better now. Thank you. Thank you for clearing us, healing us, absolving us. The child of the divine cannot sin in a dream. That we are birthless, deathless, sinless, guiltless, eternal children of the divine, manifested as immortal souls with heroic personalities on the way home in human bodies, integrating it all, anchoring heaven on earth, aligning all chakras into one chakra, one light, one truth, and yet holding the unique individuality, because there's a difference between chocolate vanilla and raspberry ripple, because variety is the spice of life. It's the fun of it. It's the reason we come down here, to experience a linear sense of time rather than all of it at once, to experience being unique and individual instead of just being at one with everything, which is a blissful state, which is heaven, which is pure peace and the still point of zero limits. And yet there's no chocolate. And yet there's no sex and there's no rock and roll. We come down here for that. Maybe elsewhere in the universe, I don't know, I don't remember. But thank you. We're sorry. We didn't know any better. We forgot. And that was part of the gig. We knew we were going to forget, but we didn't remember what we were going to forget. So we carry a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, not realizing that this world is not even really physical. But you know that. Ancestors, archetypal, genetic, and otherwise. So work with us. This month and a half till Yule, or maybe this 3 months till Imbolc, or maybe all year long. Our guides, with our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity, and our ancestor, thank you. I love you. We love you. The pillar of the peace of I. The pillar of the peace of I. The pillar of the peace of I. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none. Make it right for us. Make it all right. So let it be done. So let it be. So it is. What's the next thing? What's it say? Oh yeah. Drink or use blue solar water. Ancestry. And look, you can put a drop of this in your coffee. This is a stock bottle now. I can put a drop of this in my bathtub water. It all becomes blue solar water. Put a drip of it in my coffee, in my cat bowls, right? For my cat, my babies, my boys in their water bowls. Put it in the plants. I have it in my humidifier, right? You can. It's very, very versatile. And of course, Google the crap out of it, right? Look it up. There is other solar waters you can make. I have an emerald green bottle, so I do that for the heart chakra, but you do you. But so many billions of people are doing this now that just tapping into the group mind of it all, it's going to work. So let's close this baby up as we always do with a little prayer, a little meditation. I'm just going to put this on the floor. And we'll say thank you and we're out of here. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Just close the eyes and once again check in. Allowing yourself to rest, allowing the body to adjust, see how you feel now versus when we started. And breathe. Thank you, beloved pantheons of the divine. Thank you, our guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, ancestors, and higher selves, all the way back to the divine singularity, the nameless Tao, the pregnant void, the mother of all source, for working in us and through us, bringing to life this ancestral making it right with the ancestors for all of life from the beginning of time to this present moment. And may this activity of healing be only the first domino, setting things into momentum, into motion, clearing, cleaning, healing, transforming, transmuting from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, all of life on this planet and beyond, that we move to a more golden timeline. The soul's path. Heaven on earth. Paradise planet earth. What have you. A better life, a better world. Our destiny rather than our fate unfurled. And thank you so much for using me again, as always, making me the channel of guidance, grace, love, wisdom, and power I incarnated to be, that you sent me in to be, and every time I do this I get better. Because every day is a winding road, but I get a little bit closer. Wisdom of the crow. I love you. I love you. I love you, each and every one of you, incarnate and discarnate, in a body or not, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra or above, or just making it through in plain old 3rd dimensional, working in the coal mine, going downtown. My humans, my heroes, my angels, my witches, my immortals, my gods, goddesses, my viewers, my subscribers, my friends on Facebook, my friends around the world, everybody all at once. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna cry. The good kind of tears. Holy water. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As I will it. Well, jeepers creepers. So let it be done. So motor be. So it is. Oh, it feels so warm and so lovely. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. My patrons on Patreon, so everybody else later in the world can see what fun we have here on the regular. They get it the day of, babies. Y'all got it. The rest of you gotta wait. So come Patreon on Patreon. Just saying. Woo! And thank you so much. I love doing this work, being a mystical artist, really putting it out anywhere, considering 200, 300 years ago, they would have burned me at the stake, and they probably did, but that's okay. The witch is back. Virgo power. I love you all so much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this Samhain season. And remember, you can do this every day if you want. The ancestors are always there. They're always hovering. But remember, you got to get to the penthouse before they lift you to the satellite. I love you. Blessed Samhain, my beloveds. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.